Welcome back everyone. You're watching the training week from August 18th, where the weekly focus was getting back into some long sequences after a week off post all-round comeback. Doubling down on this high bar upgraded routine. You know, for Worlds we want the full release repertoire, so we'll talk a bit about that. Coleman 98 and 99 in the same week, which leaves us with only one Coleman to go. So if you haven't checked out Coleman 98 and 99, go ahead and do that. And those are probably my favorite parts of running this whole channel. That's been kind of the highlight for me after it's been over 2 years, like I think quite well over 2 years, where I've only used the cleanest of the cleanest. Like this one right here I did not use. I only use my best Colemans for the most part in those shorts and those clips, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So after the week off, I came back, and you know, with the Worlds being kind of like the next big thing, we have Nationals of course, where I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do my World Champs routines. But with the Worlds being the next big thing, obviously I'm thinking, is there anything that I can do to upgrade the difficulty a little bit? You know, Worlds is the biggest competition of the year, and you want to go big. It's a special time, it's a special occasion, and you want to put together something special for the event. And one of the ideas was bringing the Cassina back. So I did 2 or 3 of them near the end of the previous week, and I'll probably put that up on the Patreon. But there was a couple of problems with it. The first problem is of course the sheer difficulty of having to do it. Second, the consistency of it. You know, there's only about a month or so till really we have to be in peak form for the World Championships, and there's only so much you can change in a month. And let's say I get it, you know, more or less competable. One thing I noticed right off the bat, as with previous years, was the knees through the bottom of the tap was just next to impossible to keep locked, and that's going to have to be a long-term project. So we'll have to save Cassina for later. The other thing I mentioned last week, it's only 0.2. I'm not going to use Cassina and Coleman because you only get 2 releases from the same category. So really it's going to be switching out the Cassina from the Coleman. So, you know, from an E to a G, it's only 0.2, and I'm going to get 0.3 just on the knees alone through the bottom, unless I'm really, you know, squeezing them tight. But still, I don't see myself getting it down to a 0.1 or better in a month. So the routine for World Championships is going to be Pagan, Coleman, a piked Gaylord, and the tucked Gaylord too. And you know, it was a pretty good week for stoop halves, but it still needs quite a bit of work to finish square and handstand. So that stoop half is going to be one of the challenges, and not to mention the other 4 releases in one set. The calf is still giving me some problems. I actually stuffed it up on this Coleman 99 that you're going to see, I believe, on Friday, but I went and did a dismount because the whole sequence was going so well. It was the whole routine minus the Pagan, so a long sequence, and upon landing it was just like so obvious that ouchies, that hurts a lot. I tested it out right before that turn that you're going to see with just a Yurchenko timer, and understood that okay, it's a little bit too early to do vault, but it's not like it hurt sharply. So I went to high bar, did that sequence, landed the dismount, and then bang, just massive pain. So I've been staying off of it since then. It even bruised up. It bruised up, and I sent it to our physios. They responded it's the medial, I forget what it's called, like something to do with the medial muscle. It's a space in between your calf. That's got to be one of the best stoop halves to date, fam. That was nice. Space in between your calf and your Achilles. So first I was worried it's my Achilles, but and there was some bruising there the next day, which means there was some tears. But it's been a week, and I can walk pretty much without a limp, so nothing major. I'm gonna be okay. And what that does tell me is, you know, let's just double down on this P-bar and high bar for national championships. Try to get the world's routines nice and clean. If I do all round at nationals, like, let's be realistic, am I gonna do the high bar routine with 4 releases? It's very unlikely. Nothing's impossible, but it's unlikely. And you do want to at least try to compete it once or so before throwing it at a world championships. And as you know, we don't get much competition experience here in New Zealand. We'll be lucky to do like a couple of World Cups and the world championships later in the year, so 3 internationals a year. You don't get too much experience competing. In the week after this, fam, I reconstructed my P-bar set. and it's exciting. It's a good flow, and we'll talk about that more next week. But this was the clean sequence. Makes a big difference taking out the first skill. The whole routine pretty much feels easy having taken out the Honma. You can see the giant Diami was nice and clean, just a little bit over the handstand. And I got back to landing there. So I think that the tester that I did of that Yurchenko, you're not going to see it on film because it was just a flick flack over the vault and I didn't bother filming it. But I think that may have kind of I love the one handles, fam. Love the single pommels. May have kind of re-damaged it a little bit, and then the high bar dismount must have finished it off. So you never know. You know, you always got to be on the careful side, on the safe side. And you never know exactly what is the state of your insides. But was not a good pommel horse sesh. Struggled through this one, fam. Gently continuing with the ring strength. Man, inverted cross, doing it level is just a different beast. You know, I feel like to get a level inverted cross, meaning absolutely horizontal where your head is kind of below the rings and your shoulders are in line with the rings, I feel like you gotta be a specialist. And in fact, let's work the algorithm. And can we start a discussion? Fam, look at that stoop half. The stoop halves were on this week. Can we start a discussion? I reckon, like, if anyone could name even 5 all-rounders, I think Asher Hong is probably one, that have more or less a level inverted cross on rings. And it can be even all-rounders from the past. It doesn't even have to be current. But I'd be really surprised if we can name 5 all-rounders that had a nice and level inverted cross. You don't see it. You only see it from the specialists. Pike Gaylord third. I think that was my first time doing that as a third skill after the Pagan and the Coleman, so obviously a little bit on the safe side. And I think I gassed out a bit after that. It's quite a substantial sequence. Pagan is a full throttle skill. Coleman is a bit less. But then the Pike Gaylord third, when you're a little bit dizzy, it makes judging the tap, gauging the speed and the tap a bit more difficult. So see, doing it second, more or less okay. But even just adding one skill, and this is Coleman 99. So this is where my calf exploded. Right on this dismount. And just yesterday I played with some doubles just into the pit for fun, so you get to see some of that next week. But the knees are looking better. Yeah, that was a little bit short, and I didn't, you know, I remained standing, but I remember it being just all of a sudden from 0 to quite a substantial like pain / tension in the left calf. Yeah, and you know, one reason why I like to train high bar dismounts, I think I talk about this a fair amount, when you do harder stuff, it kind of makes the stuff you compete a bit easier. So if you can keep your knees locked on a layout double, even if it's into the pit, probably going to be better at locking your knees on just a full twisting double back, especially if it's like a weakness. And for me, those locked knees, my goodness, have been a weakness since you know what, I should find some videos from world championships in the past or any comps and show you guys what the situation with my legs was in Kachev taps, in dismount taps. It was hairy. My heels almost touched my butt that my knees were bent so much. And you know, with dismounts getting double difficulty, each value up does give 0.2. So perhaps like a next year sort of thing as well. Another couple tenths there. You know, add that with the stoop half Gaylord 2, get another couple tenths there. 3 tenths actually, if I lay out the Gaylord 2. And then we could be sitting at quite a decent, you know, you could say at that point, world-class start value. So thanks for watching, all the best till next time. Massive shout out to Patreons, all the people that have already given a little. I'm gonna link the give a little on Instagram soon, so please share it and help me raise funds to pay for this bill.